You ever notice how you kind of just know what works and what doesn't based on what happens right after you do something?
Absolutely. That's really the heart of what we're digging into today, operant conditioning.
Exactly. We've got some great material, and yeah, the plan is to cut through the jargon and get a real handle on learning through consequences.
Things like reinforcement, punishment.
Uh-huh. And those reward schedules,
Yeah.
shaping new habits, and of course, B.F. Skinner's big role in all this.
Let's dive in. So, at its simplest, operant conditioning is just learning based on what follows our actions.
Okay.
Our behavior, operates on the world, and the consequence, makes us more or less likely to do it again.
Right. So like positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
That's when something good happens after we do something, so we do it more.
Precisely. You're adding something desirable. Think about training a pet, maybe a cat.
Okay.
Your cat sits when you ask, you give it a treat. That treat positively reinforces the sitting.
Makes sense. More sitting likely in the future. Now, negative reinforcement. This one always trips people up a bit, myself included sometimes. It still increases a behavior.
It does, yeah. It
Yeah.
also increases behavior, but it works by removing something unpleasant or aversive.
Removing something.
Okay. So imagine you have a headache, right? A real nuisance. You take an aspirin.
Uh-huh.
The aspirin takes away the headache. The removal of that unpleasant feeling reinforces the act of taking aspirin next time you have one.
Ah, okay. So you're taking away a negative thing, and that makes you repeat the behavior that took it away. It's not punishment.
Crucially, no. It's reinforcement because the behavior, taking aspirin, becomes more likely. Both types increase behavior.
Got it. That clears it up. So reinforcement ups the behavior. Punishment, then, is about lowering it, making it less likely.
That's the goal, yes.
Let's do positive punishment first.
Yeah.
Adding something bad.
Exactly. Positive punishment means adding an unpleasant consequence after a behavior to decrease it. The classic example. A child touches a hot stove. They feel pain. That's the added unpleasant thing. They're hopefully less likely to touch hot stoves again.
Okay. And negative punishment, following the pattern, must be taking away something good.
You got it. Negative punishment decreases a behavior by removing something desirable. Like a teenager stays out way past curfew. Their parents might take away their phone privileges for a week.
Ouch.
Yeah. Removing the phone, something desirable, aims to decrease the chances of them staying out late again.
So key difference. Punishment reduces behavior. Reinforcement increases it. Whether it's adding or taking away determines if it's positive or negative.
That's the core distinction. Super important.
Definitely helpful. Okay, what about these reinforcement schedules? How often you get the reward or whatever? The map?
Oh, absolutely. It matters a lot. The schedule dictates how and when a behavior is reinforced. And, when we reinforce can massively affect how strong and consistent that behavior becomes.
Interesting. So fixed versus variable schedules.
Yeah.
What's the main difference in how they affect us?
Well, fixed schedules are predictable. Reinforcement comes after a set number of responses, like getting paid for every 10 items made, that's fixed ratio. Or after a fixed amount of time passes, like a biweekly paycheck, fixed interval.
Predictable.
Variable schedules, totally unpredictable, think slot machines. They pay out after a random number of pulls, that's a variable ratio.
Ah,
And the kicker is, variable schedules tend to create behaviors that are really hard to extinguish. You never know when the next reward is coming, so you keep going.
that makes perfect sense. That unpredictability is kind of addictive. Okay, what about shaping? Sounds like building up to something.
It is, precisely. Shaping is guiding behavior towards a desired outcome by reinforcing successive approximations, little steps along the way.
Like teaching a kid to ride a bike. You don't
Yeah.
just expect them to do it.
Exactly. Or teaching a complex dance move. You reward just getting the footwork right for the first step, then maybe the first step plus the turn, and so on.
Rewarding the small wins that get closer and closer.
You're gradually shaping the behavior towards the final complex sequence.
Got it. And primary reinforcers, are those just the obvious ones?
Pretty much. They satisfy basic biological needs: food, water, warmth, sleep. We don't need to learn that these are good. Our bodies just know. They're inherently rewarding.
Makes sense. And finally, B.F. Skinner. His name is everywhere with this stuff.
Yeah.
What was his main contribution?
Skinner, well, he really systematized the whole study. He developed things like the Skinner box, controlled environments to precisely observe and measure how consequences affect behavior.
So he made it more scientific.
Hugely. He gave it a rigorous experimental foundation. His detailed work on reinforcement schedules, shaping, It laid the groundwork for so much in psychology, education, even like animal training. Incredibly influential.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. Boiling it down. Operant conditioning is learning from what happens after we act.
Right. Reinforcement, positive or negative, makes a behavior more likely.
And punishment, positive or negative, makes it less likely.
And when that consequence happens, the schedule really changes things. Plus, we can build complex skills through shaping.
And Skinner provided that solid scientific framework to understand it all. So, a final thought maybe for you listening.
Hmm.
Think about a skill you learned recently, or even a habit you have.
Yeah, can you spot any of these elements, the reinforcements, maybe even punishments, the little steps you took?
It's kind of fascinating how fundamental this is to, well, just about everything we learn.